and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we're going to have a match in E100 on Westfield. The main reason I'm showing this replay is if you look at my loadout. Now, I was using the 128 gun on this. Every once in a while I like to swap it and just, because I like the APCR rounds more on the 128. Obviously, it doesn't do as much damage as this, but not by a whole huge margin. But anyways, I put the 15 centimeter back on here, and when I did, I wasn't paying attention to my AP loadout, and I had 0 AP rounds. Now, what you're going to see is when it comes to your heat rounds and your AP rounds, your heat rounds, if you hit anywhere near, I'm going to speed it up a little bit just to kind of get over here and get to the heat of the action. And to get around the hill here, I'll put it at normal speed. But with your AP rounds, you don't have to worry about shooting too close to a track and the track eating all the damage, or hitting spaced armor and the round doing no damage because it exploded on the outer part of the spaced armor and did no damage to the tank because, well, for instance, if you watch this shot on the KV4, didn't go through. 334 penetration, and it didn't go through. Actually, if I would have been shooting an AP round at that KV4, it would have went through them like butter. But the that hatch up there has spaced armor in it, and what happens is the shell hits that spaced armor, and basically, I got real lucky to hit that one. It basically explodes on the outer part of the spaced armor, does no damage at all. Now, if it would have been an HE shell, it would have still exploded on the outer spaced armor, but it would have done splash damage, so I would have done damage anyways. But with heat, once it explodes, it's done. It's through. And you'll see I shoot this other KV4. Actually, I think it was too close to his track. So we take out the prototype, but I shoot this other KV4, I believe 2 times. And both times I shoot too close to his track, and both times, see, I'm aimed right at his track. I should have aimed to the left of his front plate, but more than likely he would have been angled too much to pen it anyways, because you've got that normalization, and at the angle he was, it's just too much. The round would have hit it. And right here again, if I would have been shooting AP rounds at him, I wonder if I can actually zoom in. Yeah, that's got to be my shell, the one I just shot. Because of that angle, the normalization, there's too much of an angle there, so the round hits it and bounces, so it did no damage. Now with an AP round, if I would have hit that right there, more than likely it would have probably penned no problem. Same with the other KV4, when I shot him near the track, probably would have went right through that drive wheel and done damage. Whereas on the heat round, it exploded on the outside, took off his track, and that's all it did. So that's just lesson learned on why to make sure when you are running any tank, not just the E100, but basically any tank that has heat as your premium round, even though it doubles or sometimes even comes close to tripling your standard round penetration, make sure you bring, oh, that was a nice catch, that T10 on fire. Tried ramming him too. But bring AP rounds just in case you run into tanks that have spaced armor, or tanks that have a big area of track that sticks out. That way you don't have to worry about the round hitting the track, or the round hitting spaced armor and doing no damage. So we've actually been doing pretty good here. I've taken no damage. I've bounced 2,320 damage. I've done 3,951. Oh, that's what the big boom was. He got ammo racked. Sucks when that happens. Now, when I was coming up here, the 183 was backing up and the T30 was sitting there like an idiot. I was trying to get in there to try and do damage, and the T30 just wouldn't get his ass out of the way. Man, I don't like to, be pushing people around like that, but when I'm at full health and he's a one-shot for pretty much any tank, let me take the hit so that gun's still in the game. If you look, yeah, I mean, he's got, the 183's got 322 hit points. Well, he's still got 1234, but, I'm still full health, and I've got, 2,700 hit points. So, let me go up there and take some of the damage so that your gun's still in the game. You'll see that 1390 over there. I just ignore him, and I want the big guns gone, so we get rid of the grill, back down. And I think the 1390 put some shells into me, but I'm not worried about him really. I mean, he could put his whole magazine into me, and it's only going to take a few hundred off me. Whereas that PZ7 there, that's going to whittle me down. 750 average damage per hit versus 230, 240 is what the AMX just hit me for. And there again, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Nah, it's not going to show it. I shot, and I don't know if that was the round that I just hit him with. I thought I hit him in the track, and anywhere near that track, it's just going to knock his track off, and the round's not going to penetrate. I'm not sure exactly where that one hit, to be honest with you. I thought maybe it was that one right there. That could have been that spot or that spot. But yeah, anywhere around that track, you got to watch it, because the track will just eat the damage. It'll basically knock his track off. I'm trying to get it back on the regular. So yeah, 1390 now. He's a one-shot. He's got 183 hit points. I think it was left on him. But he's going to have to reload here in a minute, so I'm not even really worried about him. Now, on that PZ7 there, I just decided to completely ignore him, because even if he shot me, I've still got a lot of hit points left. The T54 was my only concern, really, and I'm more worried about getting down there and resetting the cap. So somebody just took out the 1390 that was up there, and the T54 kind of bails in a minute, and he goes down the hill, which, if that T54 was smart, he would have stayed up there and just kept knocking my track off. They probably would have capped out and won. But he hauls tail down here and runs and takes off. And, that brings up another good point with target priority. When we were back there, we had the PZ7, the grill, the 1390 was over here. And when I was on the top of the hill, you want the big guns gone first, and also the lowest hit points gone first. So when I was looking at targets to shoot when I came over the hill, the Grill 15 had one of the biggest guns, and also he had the lowest hit points. Yeah, he had 255 hit points left. So obviously, instead of working on that PZ7 there, who was almost full health, and leaving that Grill 15 in the game that's got a wicked gun, take the Grill 15 out, back up, and then come over and start working on another tank. So then after that, I think, what did we work on after that one there? The T54, I put a shot into him. And then the PZ7 there, that's when I put a shot into his side. And then now they're capping us. So basically, I ignored the PZ7, and I ignored the 1390, and I ignored the T54 to get down here to reset cap, because it's a 50. And basically, I'm the closest and only one that's going to probably be able to get there. That VK100-01P is definitely not going to get there in time. T30 is definitely not going to get there in time. He's way over there. So I'm not even aiming at that T-54. I have beautiful shots at him, but my main concern is coming over here and taking this guy out. Bada bing. Now they're no longer capping us. That worries out of the game. Now if I'd have been loaded here, I'd have a beautiful shot at that T-54, but somebody gets him fried, darn it. But we end up winning the game. And basically, if I would have stayed up at the top of the hill, stayed engaged with the PZ7 that was up over here, or started messing around with a 1390 that was there, or continued trying to hit the T-54 that was there, I would have never made it back in time to reset the cap. And a guy that had 123 hit points that were sitting on our cap would have won. So, we had, what, 3 tanks left? But like I said, I was the closest one there. So I had, pretty close to full hit points. So my main objective was reset the cap. Forget about whatever. Now, would have been a little bit different if, let's say, we had, let's say, 7 or 8 people left on our team, and they had 7 or 8 people left on their team, and they were, capping us. And if I were, where I was back there, and if there was a lot of heavy tanks with big guns over here, then I would have not had the luxury of being able to ignore tanks to come down to try and reset cap. I would have had to have relied on tanks that were hopefully faster and, that weren't engaged with other enemy tanks to get down there and reset the cap. But like I said, I was basically their only option to get down there and reset the cap. So that's what I did. Anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I will have some post-game stats for you. So if you guys just hold on for a minute, I'll be right back. Alrighty. Well, this is a prime example on why even though with E100, standard round penetration is only 246, not the highest for the AP rounds, but it's always a good idea. And this is kind of the pot calling the kettle black. I should have been carrying some AP rounds. I switched guns over on my 100 E100 back to the 15 centimeter. And when I did, I set it up with all heat and a couple HE rounds. I didn't even think to throw a couple AP rounds in there. And the problem, as you could see, when I came around the corner with those KV4s, 246 pen would have went right through the front of those, absolutely no problem. Where I had shots on them, spaced armor or tracks, heat does not like spaced armor. It explodes on the outside, does no damage on the, doesn't do anything. If you hit a rock, or excuse me, like a wall that you could normally shoot through with an APCR or AP round, you can't shoot through a wall or wood or anything like that with HE rounds or heat rounds or HESH rounds because they explode on the outside. Now, with a HE round, if it explodes on the outside, if it's close enough to the tank and it's lightly armored, you still could do some splash damage. I've actually killed tanks by shooting underneath them with HESH rounds from the 183 because even though it didn't hit it, it detonated underneath it and exploded and did splash damage underneath the tank, which is the lightest armored part of the tank, and killed it. Heat doesn't work that way. Now, heat, if you hit near the target, well, it's all or nothing. You either hit the target and it pens it and does damage, or it doesn't penetrate it and doesn't do anything. It'll explode on the outside. You'll do some track damage. And just to show you, on those KV4s, if you look down here, I must have been the only one that shot them that didn't pen them because I hit this one here. You can see E block 750. That's obviously a round for me. And the other KV4 that I shot twice, E block 1500, 2 rounds from me. Both those have spaced armor in the front, tracks. The track basically ate all the damage on it. But we ended up getting ace tanker, shell proof, fire for effect, bruiser, steel wall, high caliber, and I was able to reset it at the end there and get a defender. I was really if that was it a T62? I'm not sure what it was. 54 maybe? T54 I think it was. That was playing on the corner there. If he would have played it right, all he had to have done is kept tracking me, and they probably would have capped out. But I don't know what he was doing. He looked like he was trying to take off and kind of scoot out of there. And when he did that, basically that left an open window for me to haul butt down to the enemy cap and reset the cap. And it was 72, so almost capped us out. But we were able to hit the C100 twice for 1,578. Hit their PZ7 there for 701. Knocked out his fuel tank and bounced two of his rounds for 1,120. Hit their grill 15, excuse me, for 255. Finished him off and knocked out his track. Hit their T10 for 895. Wow, that's a good roll. And knocked out his track fuel tank and destroyed his track. And we spotted him and he got hit for 394 damage. We originally spotted the T54, bounced one of his rounds for 320, and hit him for 790. Hit their object 704 for 715. Let's see, their 1390, we got him lit up and he got hit for 183, and we bounced one of his rounds for 240. Their 5100, he was the one that was capping there at the end, so he only had 123 hit points left, but we killed him, finished him off there. Bounced one of the three of the KV4 rounds for 960. Bounced three from the other one for 960, and just destroyed his track. And you can see that's where it hit him in the track, and that's all it did was destroyed his track. Did no damage to him. The Tiger 2, we hit him once for 768, bounced one of his rounds for 320. Hit the T28 prototype twice for 763, finished him off. Knocked out his ammo rack and bounced one of his rounds for 400, and reset the cap at 72. What the heck did we do there? Oh, it's because we were looking in there. Okay. So we did 6,588 damage, got 3 kills, and the base experience on that was 1,173. Had 15 shots, 15 hits, 11 penned. So I know 3 of the rounds bounced on the KV4s. So one of them, I'm trying to think what else I bounced on. Can't remember. Total damage was 6,588. From a distance more than 300 meters was 790. We got hit 15 times, 3 pen, 12 bounced. So we bounced 4,320 damage. Spotted 1, damaged 10, destroyed 3. Damage with our assistance was 577. And defense points was 72. Made 91,392 credits, but lost 27,249 because I shot all heat rounds, all the premium rounds, which are very, very expensive, not cheap. So all in all, it was a good match. We ended up getting that ace tanker, so we got the meathead mastery thing, which was pretty cool. So that's kind of a lesson learned on why to make sure you still carry some AP rounds in the E100. Even though they only have 246 pen, they would have went through those KV4s like butter, no problem. Whereas the heat rounds, obviously, the tracks ate all the damage, or spaced armor, and it just didn't do any damage to the tank. Whereas that would have been 3 shells I would have put into those KV4s that would have easily penned with 246 penetration if I would have been shooting or carrying some AP rounds. So lesson learned, and from there I will go ahead and take some of these heat rounds off. You don't need that many anyways. We'll carry 10 of them from now on. So anyways, I hope that kind of helped you guys, and reminded me to put AP rounds in the thing. I usually always carry them, but I was running the 128 on this. I like the APCR round for the premium on that. A lot better pen, and it's not heat. So, you can shoot something through the tracks and actually do damage versus the track eating all the damage. So we put back on the big gun, and I forgot to put AP rounds on, but that reminded me when that happens. So just, you know, for what it's worth, just make sure you carry some AP rounds if you're running your E100. Actually, any tank that runs heat for your premium round. Make sure you carry some AP, even though it doesn't do have as much pen. Just for cases like those KV4s. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.